The intervention this group decided to elaborate on is called the Fernald Method as a spelling intervention. This group consists of Emma Pastor, Kaylee Walters, Julia Cupit, Rochelle Bone, and Heather Robbins. The method. Grace Fernald started this method, and she was born in 1879 in Ohio. In 1907, she obtained her doctoral degree in psychology from the University of Chicago. In 1911, she became the director of psychology laboratory at the University of California, and in 1921, she founded the Clinical School of the University of California. Fernald claimed that saying a word while also tracing it with their finger is an effective learning strategy. The method consists of 4 stages. In the first stage, the student chooses the word they want to learn. The teacher writes down the word. The teacher says the word. The teacher traces the word while saying it. The student proceeds to trace the word while saying it. And then the teacher removes the model and has the student write the word from memory. Stage 2 is similar to Stage 1, except the tracing component is removed from the process. So the student selects the word, the instructor writes the word, the students look at the sample word and say it while copying the word. This is repeated until the child can write the word correctly without looking at the sample. Mastered words are saved and can be used to compose sentences and stories. In Stage 3, the copying sample component is removed from the process. So the student selects the word, the instructor reads the word from printed sources, and then the student looks at the word and repeats it before writing it from memory. And in the last stage, the students recognize the words based on their similarities to previously mastered words. Research. 3 studies were evaluated to prove or disprove the Fernald method. The first study was about a boy named Michael. Michael is a 13-year-old boy with an extreme case of a reading disability. In the beginning of the study, he was unable to do the work of a 6th grader. He met with a tutor 1 hour a day during school hours for 3 months. Each evening, Michael wrote a story at home for the next day. With the tutor, Michael would review the reading structure, punctuation, capitalization, and spelling from the story he wrote. Michael's tutor instructed him to trace the words he spelled incorrectly using different materials until the spelling was mastered. Once he thought he was catching up to his current grade level, he was asked to learn the spelling words of his classmates. Eventually, Michael found it easy to keep up with his classmates due to the Fernald method of tracing and saying the letters out loud. Penmanship was not focused on at all throughout this study. However, at the beginning, Michael scored 20 on the Acres scale and a 50 3 months later. Michael showed significant improvement throughout the school year, but showed signs of regression when he would return from summer break. Kids don't spend nearly as much time working on schoolwork and reading skills over the summer as they do during the school year. It took a lot of hard work for Michael to catch back up to the level that he was at before he left for summer vacation. Michael was not the only student who showed improvement from the Fernald method, as there was also a study done with a 3rd grade class of students. In the second study, the class was made up of 10 males and 10 females. All took a pretest composed of 60 words. Next, students were divided into 2 random groups. 60 words composed the pretest were divided into 4 lists of 15 words. Every week, all 20 pupils acquired the same new spelling list designed as a spelling contract. The spelling list was composed of 15 words, and beside each word were activities listed to be done. Before receiving their spelling lists, the students were given a pretest of 15 words assigned. After the pretest, all students received the proper spelling and wrote it next to their pretest list. For the duration of the week, the class was broken up into different groups. The first group focused primarily on spelling using a multisensory approach of the Fernald method. The teachers used visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and tactile activities like tracing and saying the word. The second group performed activities such as writing the word in a certain number of times, writing the word in sentences, and writing the words in alphabetical order. The research team predicted there to be no noteworthy discrepancy in the achievement when testing the multisensory approach. A post-examination concluded the study on Friday. The results indicated that the students who used the multisensory approach performed slightly better on the post-test, but the results were not significant enough to prove one method works better than the other. In the third study, 30 random first-grade male students, all with an intellectual disability diagnosis, were chosen to conduct another study. The research team conducted 3 different hypotheses. They concluded the Fernald multisensory method is effective in enhancing the scores of students' comprehension, reading fluency, and speed reading in professional skill courses. The student took a pretest which consisted of 115 words. At the end, each student was given a post-test that consisted of 114 words. Both of the tests also included 10 comprehension questions. The students were divided into 2 groups of 15. Students were determined to using different tools such as collecting academic data, IQ testing results, and the students' results in reading tests. At the end of the teaching to read sessions by the Fernald Method, students were given the post-test. The research team found that the approach was effective in enhancing scores in comprehension, fluency, and speed reading. This study supports the Fernald Method as a positive and effective strategy for developing professional skills. A common question you may have about who this method benefits is it benefits kids with ADHD, dyslexia, reading disabilities, and intellectually disabled children.
We will show you an example of a child using the Fernald Method through this video.
Hi, we're going to show you some fun ways that you can work with your child this summer. For children, they need to know the sounds that are included in words in order so that they can read and write effectively. So we're going to show you some fun ways. You can do all these activities with words, with letters, and with sounds. But with Sophie, we're going to be using words. So this is our first activity. All right. I'm going to ask Sophie to write a word for us. Can you write the word the? What word are you writing?
The.
Perfect. What word did you just write?
The.
Would you trace over it for me? Perfect. This can be a little messy at times, but it's a fun way to practice your words. If you were doing this with letters, all your child would have to do is write a letter. Can we try just a letter? Would you write the letter T? What sound does that letter make? Perfect. That was pretty easy for you, I know. Good job. Another fun thing that you can do is you can purchase glitter glue. You get this at any craft store, and it's a fun way to practice writing words. So, would you write the word look? Mm-hmm. But where did you just write?
Look.
Perfect. We also have one that we already did. It's now dry. Would you trace that with your finger? Perfect. Again, it's a fun way to practice your words. You can also do this with letters and with sounds. Another fun activity is just using pipe cleaners. Again, all these things can be found at a craft store. Would you make the word is? So this one's an S, right? There you go. What word did you make?
Is.
Great job. So what's this first letter?
I.
What's this letter?
S.
What sound does this I make?
I.
How about this S? Terrific. When you put it together, it says?
Is.
Great job. One last fun activity you can do is we're using just a plastic screen that again can be found at a craft store, and we're putting just a piece of paper over it and pick a color. All right. Would you write the word see? What word did you just write?
See.
Great. Here, pick another color and trace over that word. Terrific. So what word is that?
See.
What does this S say? How about these two E's together?
E.
Awesome. What's that word again?
See.
Great job. These are just some fun activities. There are different ways you can practice your letters, your sounds, and words.
Another frequently asked question is what manipulative can you use? And you can use pipe cleaners, sand, glitter glue, markers, or sandpaper. Here's our list of references to learn more about the Fernald Method.